Hello and welcome to Cloud Solutions Tech. In this video, we are going to learn how to create our first job, our first Jenkins job. But in the future, we are going to learn how to create more interesting things, using both freestyle and pipeline. So let's click on create a job, or you can come here and say new item. So whichever one it works. Alright, so here we are going to give our job a name. So we are going to call our job right here, we are going to call it my first job. So let's say my first job. Alright, so we are going to use freestyle project right now, which is a simple project for now. So and then we're going to click OK right here. So once we click OK, we are going to see all this configuration right here. So here I will just, let's just give it a description and just say, oh, we are creating first Jenkins job. I'm still going to come back to all these to explain in details, but what we are going to do right now, we are going to be going to the build step. So as we are creating our first job, I want us to have it in mind. A task in Jenkins is called job. So in this build section, we are going to add our build step. We're going to be using the execute shell. So I'm going to show you something right here. Let me quickly go to my terminal so I can show you something. So I have my terminal open right here. Okay, so in my terminal right here, remember that this is my virtual machine. We are creating a container in here. You understand? We created that container in here. If you do Docker ps, right, it's right there. So this container right here now, it has the actual Jenkins service application up and running. So if I want to go inside of the container, I'll do Docker exec -ti, and then I say Jenkins bash. So to explain what is going on now, right? So you see right here, this part right here now, we are inside of our container now on this part. This is our virtual machine, which is like more like the house of the container. The container is listed using Docker ps right here, and then this is our virtual machine that are inside of our virtual machine. But the moment I run this Docker exec -ti Jenkins bash, once I get into this place, now I am inside of my container. Alright, so if I want to get out of this place and go back to my virtual machine now, I'll just do exit. I'm back to my virtual machine. So right here, I was in my container before. But at this moment right here, I am back to my virtual machine. So I just want you to understand the difference between the two when I'm running commands from here and then when I'm running command from here, so you don't get confused. So have in mind that everything that you run, everything that happens inside of the container is going to be within the container. It's not going to happen outside here. So I just want you to have that in mind. So when I switch to when I use this Docker exec -ti Jenkins bash, when I switch to the Jenkins terminal, whatever I'm running from there now, I'm running it inside of the container itself. So I believe I've been able to explain this part. We're still going to come there later. So I believe it's time for us to go back to the Jenkins UI and then go and run our first job. Alright, so for this, I'll be using the execute shell, just like you are running your command from your Linux terminal. So let's just run some few commands here just to play around and see what our first job looks like. So I'll say echo hello, and let's say welcome to Jenkins Lab. Alright, and then below here, let me just run some few commands like date, say pwd, give me the present working directory, give me the ID, and then let's say who am I? Alright, so let's click here and say save. When I click on this build now, this build button, it means build the project. So this project that we just created, my first job, we want to build it and see what the output is going to be. So alright, so I'm running the build now. So you see the output of the build is coming out right here. So let's click on our boot. Alright, so this is the console output. So this is telling us that our job executed successfully, and you can see who started the job. Who ran it, started by user cloud solutions, and then we have the output of the command that I ran in the execute shell. So I said echo hello and welcome to Jenkins Lab. It gave us the output right there, and I asked for the date. I put in the date. It gave us the date right here. I said pwd. I want to see the present working directory, and then ID, the ID of the user running it. You can see Jenkins user, and then who am I? Jenkins. So Jenkins, that is the name of the user that we are logging at the moment. If you go to the terminal right here, you can see we have a user here called Jenkins. So that's the user that we are running our job as. So let's go back to the Jenkins UI. So here you can even come back to the job and run the build multiple times. So right here you have the build history. So let's go back to configure and then explain more about what we just did. So in this execute shell, so we ran some few commands here, right? So that is what we did. So the command that we ran here, that is what executed for us in the console output after we build this project. Now that you understand what we have done in this first job, we are going to create more jobs. So you see, so we'll go again to our configure section. Alright, so let's make this job more dynamic. So let's create another job. Let's call this one bash jobs. So okay, do a first start again, and then description we say alright. So let me go back to the terminal. So within this container right here, if I type date, so when I type this date command, you see that it actually returns the date and time back to us on the screen. So what happens if you want to execute this command and I want to have like a text in this command? To be able to do that in Linux, I'll use the echo command. So I'll say, for example, I'll say echo today's. So I'll say today's date is $8 and close it. So let's run this command, and then you see the output. It says today's date is Saturday. Give us the date. You can see right there. So if I say who am I and I do enter, it says Jenkins, right? That is the user that I'm currently logged in at the moment. So let's run this command together without who am I again? Let's do something like this. Let's see echo the user log in the moment is I'll say dollar who am I? And close it back. And then if we run this command now, you see what we have on this right here. You see the user logged in at the moment. The user logged in at the moment is Jenkins. You see, it's pretty cool. So what I'm doing right here is when for this example, as you can see on my screen, it's actually giving the same text, but it's returning a different value based on the command that that I'm executing on the command line. So we can also do something like this and say echo and then say today's date and time is the dollar date. Okay, so we can see the output of this command right here. So echo to this date and time is dollar date right here. So you can see the output right here. So you need to know what exactly you want to do. We'll go back to the Jenkins UI and then you go and run some of those commands there and then you see how it works. Alright, so let's go back to the Jenkins UI. Alright, so for the big step, I'm still going to go with execute shell. Alright, so let's run our command here again. So I'll say echo the user log in and minute is going to my user, then we see echo today's date and today. So these two commands, let's run it and then see our output. So let's click on save. Alright, so let me do bid now. You see the output of our, let's go and see the output of this job. Let's run maybe like one more time, Alright, so let's click here to check the console output. So as you can see, our console output right here, it says it was successful. So you can see our job is successful and you can see right here to this date and time is right here. And then this command echo, the user logging at the moment, you can see right here and the user is Jenkins. So what I want to show you next now is for you to learn how to redirect outputs in Jenkins. So just remember that. So let's go back to our terminal. So now in Bash, right, we can use variable. What exactly is a variable? So a variable is a symbolic name that is associated with a value, right? And then these variables are used in script and in command line environment to store and retrieve information. So variables can represent various types of data such as numbers, strings, paths, or other types of data. Alright, so let me show you an example of how a variable is used. So I'll say business equals CST. Alright, so I'll say echo welcome to the business. And then I say today's date is the date is dollar, this. You see right here, it says, welcome to CST. Today's date is, they have the date right here. So the variable that we're passing right here, so CST is just an abbreviation for Cloud Solution Step. So you see, it's pretty cool. All right. So let's add one more variable, and then we'll be able to combine them together, and then you see what it looks like. So let's say name equals to, let's pass James. All right. So here, what I'm going to do, I'll say hello, my name. Welcome to your business. Business. All right. Let me close that. If I do enter now, you see what we have right there, the output. It says, hello James, welcome to Cloud Solution Step. Hello $name right here. And I say welcome to your business. And then we have this output right there. Hello James, welcome to Cloud Solution Step CST. So this is pretty simple. It's just testing out some commands that will now redirect the output into, in fact. So now let's actually, do, the output now. So you see the way we have this output right here. Okay, so before we do this, let me, make this, this command a little bit, more, dynamic. So let me add some things to it. So I'll say this, is close. Alright, so you see what we have right here. Hello James, welcome to CST. Today's date and time is, okay, let me do something right here. Just run it again. Alright, hello James, welcome to CST. So this date and time is this date right here. Alright, so what I want to do now, so before we redirect it, this command that we have right here, let's copy it and go and run it in Jenkins and then see what output we are going to have. Alright, so let's copy this guy and go to Jenkins. So right here, let's just clear this out and then paste. So if you look at this command, right here is going to fail. Why? Because the variable does not exist here, right? So it's going to fail. So to add the variable to it, I'll just do this and then come here and say name equals to James, and then below here and say business equals CST. So we go now to this last build issue right here and then click on it to check the console output. We see the output of we see the output of our console. We see what we ran right here. So very good. So you can see the variable that we put in. You can see it right here. Name equals James, business equals CST, and then the date. And as you can see right here, the command that we ran, and then the output. Hello James, welcome to CST. Today's date and time is this one. So you see, it's pretty cool. As you can see, this output right here. So what if I want to now redirect this output into a file? So let's go back to my terminal. That is pretty simple. So I'll just call back the command. So now we want to redirect this file. Instead of us having the output, if we do enter, you see we're having the output on the console here, but I don't want the output to come to the console here. I want to redirect it to a file. So let me call over the command and say this guy right here. So this sign right here is the redirection sign in bash. Alright. So and then where do we want to redirect our file to? So I say /10 and then I'll say my files. So it's going to create this file. So if I do enter now, you can see now that I did enter, but you see nothing came out on the screen unlike before, right? When I run the same command here, you can see the console output. So now I redirected the output into /10/my file, so we can't see any output on this screen there. But if I come here and then see cat /10, and you can see my file, and you see we have the output inside of this file. So we have just redirected the output of what that we were running on the command before. So now we have the content inside of this file. We are going to do this from Jenkins. So to do that from Jenkins, let's just remove this file that we created here. So I'm just going to say ram-file, and say /10 and file. Alright, and then I do, let me just call it back. You see, I don't have anything. You see, this source file directory because I deleted it. Let's copy this command right here, and then we'll go and run it from our Jenkins. So let's go back, go to configure, and then alright, let's delete the storage configuration, and then including the new one. So as you can see here, is redirecting it into this file right here. Alright, so okay, let's click on save. Alright, we'll click on build now. So we should have a build number 9. Alright, 9. So let's click on it, and then you can see right here console output. So you can see that the job actually finished as success here. So let's go back to our terminal here. We'll go back to our container. Alright, so now when we carve that file again, we should have that file now. So you can see pretty cool. Remember that we removed the file right from the terminal here within the container, and then we did carve again. It said no such file or directory. Now we ran it now from Jenkins, and then now we can see the output right here. So as you can see, it's working perfectly. So the file is actually being created from our Jenkins job. So if I remove it again and delete it again, run the build again, it's still going to do the same thing. So let's do it one more time. Let me remove the file again, and then go back to my Jenkins. Go back and build it one more time. Now we should have build history 10. Alright. Console output. You see right there. You see success. Let's go back into our container again. Let's do the same thing. Tab. You see we have the output right here. So you see this is very, very nice. This is really cool. So this part is really important because this is something that is very important. So I just want to let you know, right, that as we are using Docker to host, the service, all of the files that we created are going to be saved within the container, right? So if we go out of the container, and just do exit, we do exit, and I see cat /10, and we see the file, right? You see what it says? It says no such file or directory, right? So why is it giving me that error right there? Why is it giving me that output? I don't have that file, right? Because it's a completely different file system. But if you go back into the container, we have our file. So we do docker -ci and say Jenkins bash. Alright, if I run the same command and file, you see, we have our file in there. So one thing that I also want us to remember is that the Jenkins container is a completely isolated process, right? With its own operating system and Linux distribution. So that's why you can see the file on your host, but you can see it in the container. You can also do that. So if you want to share file, with your host, you use volumes to do that. So I'm going to do another video, we'll see how to do that. We're going to be using volume. So if you want to share file with your host, you can use volume. So that will be in another video. So don't worry about, I'm still going to show you how to do that. So but just keep in mind that the file that you are creating are being created within your container. And then the moment you leave within your container, you go outside of your container, you are not going to find those files that you created within your container. So that will be all for this video. Join us in the next lesson.